Good afternoon, ladies and gents. Gesgex doing what will probably be the first of a series of playthroughs of the Harry Potter deck building game, which is called Hogwarts Battle. And we're gonna play through the first one here, which is really easy, and then possibly we might kind of carry on through all 7 stages. And of course there are 7 bits, a bit like the 7 books or 7 films. I suppose there's 8 films technically, really, but yeah. And this one is obviously based on Philosopher's Stone or Sorcerer's Stone, of course, depending on wherever you live. And we are going to be playing as
Hermione Granger?
Yeah, so there's a very young-looking Hermione Granger with the quote that says,
I'm going to bed before either of you come up with another clever idea to get us killed, or worse, expelled.
Famous Hermione quote, of course. So as I say, this first one is based on the first story, first chapter, if you like, or first part of the narrative, Philosopher's Stone. We're going to start off with why are these here? Don't know why we got these. We're going to start off with the very basic deck, and then, like any deck builder, we kind of slowly, by buying newer, better cards, we can kind of build our deck to being something half decent by the end of the game. And what we've got to do, we've got to defeat the 3 villains who are in a random order here before they take over the 2 locations that we've got there. And this first one is very easy, but it does get more difficult as the games go on. So each one gets steadily more difficult. You can see at the moment we've got some Quidditch gear, we've got Hagrid, we've got 4 different spells, we've got Reparo, Lumos, Incendio and Wingardium Leviosa, and they all have different effects, and you can say buy them and add them to your deck. So the first thing we're going to do though is we've got to resolve one of the... we've got to see who our villain is first of all. So our first villain is going to be Crabbe and Goyle. Now, I can't remember which one of them it is, but one of them in real life has gone a bit off the rails since Harry Potter. I can't remember. I think he is like an MMA fighter now, and I can't remember. I've got a feeling he ended up in trouble in some way, but I can't remember. Nothing too serious, I don't think. But anyway, so we're fighting Crabbe and Goyle, who are, of course, Draco's henchmen. And they've got 5 health, and it says each time a Dark Arts event card, which are these, if they cause you or a hero to discard a card, we're going to lose some life. So we've got our life track here, and we want to try and keep it at that end, obviously. And if we end up here, we get stunned, and that helps them win the locations. As I say, by the end of the 7 sort of chapters in this game, the last one is really difficult. And I've got both the expansions as well, and some promo cards and things as well. So, but we're just going to start with the basics. So anyway, this is our first villain. So we need to do 5 damage to it, as I say. We are going to have a look at our first horrible card, which is... actually, I'll show it to you a bit closer. So it says Expulso. It says Voldemort, having eaten a very hot curry by the looks of it. And it says active hero, which is me, because I'm the only one, loses 2 health. So Voldemort has already damaged us. And then it says... thankfully, this doesn't take effect because it says each time a Dark Arts card or villain causes you to discard a card, lose an extra health. Now that didn't do that. So we can draw 5 cards from our starting deck, which is... our starting deck's a bit basic. Let's see what we got. Okay, so we've got a couple of these, Alohamoras, and what they do is they let us gain some influence, which we can use to buy better cards. So those 2 are done. So we've cast that spell twice. We've got Crookshanks. Good old Crookshanks, okay, so Hermione's little moggy. And it gives us a choice. We can either gain back those 2 health we just lost, or we can take one of these tokens, which kind of lets us do damage to the enemy. So I'm actually going to take one of those, which is probably not the best idea, but anyway, but there we go. And then Tales of Beedle the Bard, of course. Hermione does love her books. So we're going to use that to gain 2 more influence. And then we're going to use our Time Turner, which really Hermione shouldn't have at this stage in the story, but still, you know, not one to pick holes in it. Our Time Turner is going to be used to gain another one of these. And again, these cards have a lot more varied effects as the game goes on. So we've got 5 influence with which to buy some cards with. So I think generally Quidditch gear tends to be a pretty good buy. So Quidditch gear lets you, let's just have a little look, it lets you, okay, you can do damage to an enemy or you can gain health. So we'll take that. Sorry, I thought my camera wasn't recording for a minute. I say camera, my phone wasn't recording. So I'll take that for 3. So that's 3 spent. I've got 2 more. The only thing I could buy with that is Wingardium Leviosa, which is not a great spell, but there we go. So now those have emptied, we put 2 more out. We've got Descendo, Essence of Dittany. Now that's a really good one. I'm hoping to get that next time. And then we put the damage that we would do onto Crabbe and Goyle. So that's 1 out of 5 damage that we have done. Okay. So now we've done that, so we've played our cards, done our action heroes. So then discard, if I had any cards left over in my hand, I'd have to bin them off, and then I draw my remaining 5 cards and I can see what I've got, which is it's going to be a fairly basic turn because these are all Alohamoras. But before we do that, we got to flip another one of these. And it's another one of them. I think there are only 2 of those in this starting deck, but we happen to have drawn them both at the same time. I did shuffle them, but that's Voldemort belching at us again. So we lose another 2 health. So we're down to 6, which is not ideal. All we can do for our turn is basically gain 5 influence. Now, I did say that I was going to buy Essence of Dittany, but as we've got 5, it is really tempting to... Yeah, I'm going to actually buy Hagrid. Going to pay for a Hagrid. There he is. Look at Robbie Coltrane, the legend. So that's going to go there. And then a new card will come out. Albus Dumbledore. He's almost impossible to get because he needs 8. I mean, how are you going to get 8 influence? But anyway, it's very difficult. So that's our go done. We didn't get a chance to do any damage to Crabbe and Goyle that time, but still, they're laughing at us in the corner. It's weird that they've got the young picture of Hermione or Emma Watson. They've got the young picture of Emma Watson, but they've got like an older picture of Crabbe and Goyle and Draco as well. They've got like picture of Draco from like year 6 or something, which is a bit odd, or as in the 6th year. So then, anyway, we shuffle our cards and I take another 5. Let's see what we've got this time. Okay, so nothing too exciting in my hand for next turn, but we get to have to do one of these first of all. He who must not be named. So, I'll show you the card actually. These are sleeves, so hopefully they won't be reflecting the light too much. But anyway, that's, yeah, he who must not be named. So what you have to do here, it says add a dark mark to the location. So we've got 1 out of 4 of the marks have been put on Diagon Alley. So if Diagon Alley gets taken over, I'll show you the picture. Diagon Alley gets 4 dark marks on it, then they win that card and we move on to the next one. And if they take them all, they win. So our turn again is going to be pretty basic for this one. I say the cards get more complicated later on. So we get 3 for those 3 Alohamoras. We've got... I'm going to actually use Crookshanks to gain 2 health this time.
That felt good.
And Tales of Beedle the Bard will give me another 2 influence. And now I've got 5. So with 5, I will take... Let's have a little look. I'm going to take Descender, actually, just for all 5 on that. And again, no damage being done to the enemies at this point, unfortunately. But still, so, yet again, another 5. So again, see, this is perfectly playable single player. So, because there were people online talking about, like, well, how are you supposed to... How could you... I wish there was a solo way of playing this. Like, of course there is. Like, just like this. Anyway, obviously it is better with more people, like most things in life. Okay, next Dark Arts card. Oh, we got Petrification. So there's Harry looking petrified. All heroes lose 1 health. So we do that first of all. And cannot draw extra cards this turn. Okay, so the way that works, basically, if I've got a card that lets me... I haven't at the house it happens, but if I had a card here that would let me draw more from my deck, I wouldn't be able to do that. So our Time Turner gains us 1. We've got 3 Alohamoras, so that gains us another 3. And we've got good old Rubius Hagrid, again, Weirdy Beardy, who gains 1 of those and gives us 1 health back. So we will... What have we got for... Oh, I didn't put a card out. I didn't put a card out. There we go. Actually, I will use... Oh, I don't know. Lumos or Incendio. Let's take an Incendio, because again, this is a good example where it says draw a card. So if I'd drawn that and had this in hand, I couldn't use that ability. So there we go. So that's all 4 influence spent. And we can put another one on Crabbe and Goyle. Taking a while to actually damage them. So I'll draw up again, but I've only got 3 this time. So to shuffle these, give these a quick shuffle, take another 2. There we go. So what have we got this time? Okay, we've got a couple of... Well, we've got a couple of new things in there. So our Dark Arts card, he must not be named again. So that adds another to the location. So that's 2 out of 4. So they've conquered half of Diagon Alley, which is obviously not good. 3 Alohamoras gives us 3 tokens. Wingardium Leviosa, that gives us 1. And if we buy any items, such as Essence of Dittany, we could put it on top of our deck instead of having to wait for it to cycle through. And then Quidditch Gear gains 1 health and a lightning. I actually think this is kind of overpowered because it's very cheap and yet it does 2, good things. So we'll do that. I forgot to put a card out again. So for our 4, I'm going to take another Incendio. Okay, and then another Incendio is going to come out. And we'll put another point of damage on to Crabbe and Goyle. So they are slowly but surely getting battered. We're kind of death by 1,000 cuts with them at the moment. So we've got Tales of Beedle the Bard, Time Turner, Hagrid. Okay, so let's see what our next one is. And also, oh no, another one of those, He Who Must Not Be Named. So they've now nearly taken over Diagon Alley. That's 3 out of 4. So we actually need to step up a little bit here. I said this was really easy, and now I'm not doing a very good job of this. Yeah. Anyway, so Alohomora gives us 1. Tales of Beedle the Bard gives us 2. Time Turner gains 1. Incendio lets us put that on and draws a card. So that was Incendio. Descendo, which is this one, actually is just a straight 2 points of damage. That's a bit frustrating actually. And then that as well, this is bad timing unfortunately, because we're back to full health, but we've actually got four damage tokens to put out, but we can only use 2 of them because Crab and Goyle only take 5. So Crab and Goyle have been defeated at last, thankfully, so they're done. Now, I don't know if this is the proper way you're supposed to do it, but that's the end of my go. And what I would do is I would put these to one side, and then the next villain comes out. So I don't get to put those 2 extra damage markers on the next villain, which is a bit annoying, but what can you do? And it is Draco. The legend that is Draco Malfoy. Now, I'm a big fan of Draco as a character. I am a Slytherin, in case you're wondering, by the way. I did the Pottermore test online, and I am a Slytherin. I've got all the robes and scarf and everything, basically. Everything Slytherin based. And I like Tom Felton. He's a great actor. I think he did really well. He did a great job in Harry Potter. So, yes, I know. I'm one of those weird people. I like Joffrey in Game of Thrones, and these sort of villains that you aren't supposed to like. I quite like them. But anyway, so big fan of Draco. So it could have been Crab, Goyle, and Gex. Who knows? There we go. So I take an extra card, and back up to 5. Fairly straightforward hand next time, but let's see what this does. Okay, Flipendo. I got Flipendo, which always reminds me of the PS1 game, which I've got on my channel. If you're interested in seeing some Harry Potter video games being played, I'm actually currently playing Deathly Hallows, and I've done all of the games up to Deathly Hallows. And in the first one, the voice acting on the PS1 as he shouts Flipendo, he's quite hilarious. Anyway, what happens? I lose that, and I discard a card. So let's have a little think. I'll discard one of our Alohomoras. I don't get anything for that. So I've got 2 other ones. I'll use my Quidditch gear to gain 1 of those, and can gain health as well, and then Crookshanks I will use to gain another damage. So we're going to hit Draco twice, and I'm sure his father will hear about that.
Oh, my father will hear about this!
Spend 2 to finally get Essence of Dittany, even though I don't think we really need it, to be honest. But anyway. And then Oliver Woods come out to play. So let's see what we've got. Yeah, I have got the extra bonus characters as well. I was tempted to play as Luna. I've got Ginny as well, but I thought I'd just stick with good old Hermione. She hasn't got any special abilities at this stage, but they do later on. Okay, let's have a look at our next one of those. Another Flipendo. I have honestly shuffled these, but they must have all just shuffled into the wrong order. Okay, so I've got to discard something. I'm going to discard the Time Turner. I don't really need that at the moment. I think in a way that might have been good if it had somehow recycled something out of your discard pile into your hand, because then it'd be like turning back time, so it would have been a bit more thematic. Anyway, we've got an Incendio, so we're going to singe Draco in a minute, and then we've got another Incendio, just in case the first one wasn't enough. So that's 2 of those. Rubius, and again he's going to give us health, and 1 of those. And then Tales of Beedle the Bard is going to give us 2 influence. So these 3, we're going to go zap, zap, zap onto Draco. So he's nearly gone already. I'm just trying to remember. I don't think that's happened. His ability is every time you add a dark mark to a location, you lose 2 health. I don't think that's happened since he's been in. I did forget about that, though. Also, we didn't take our reward for defeating Crab and Goyle, which was supposed to be all heroes gain or draw a card. I forgot to do that. But anyway, too late. Can I get anything for 2? I can't. So those influence are gone, because your board clears at the end of every round. You don't get to take anything into the next round. Okay, our new hand. Oh, God. There's not a lot going on there. But anyway, let's see. We are nearly at the bottom of this deck. Petrification. All heroes lose 2, and we can't draw any new cards. Okay, so we've got 3 Alohomoras and a Wingardium Leviosa, so that's 4. And we've got a Descendo, so we're going to Descendo Draco, and that is actually going to be enough to kill him. But can we buy anything with 4? We could. We could buy another Incendio. We're going full Incendio here at the moment. Oh, hang on, didn't we get to... No, I thought we had a thing that let us put any new spells we bought into that, but apparently not. Anyway, we have incendioed Draco to death, so he's been scorched. And it says, and in our reward, it says at the bottom of the card, remove 1 dark mark from the location, which is ideal. So we can take 1 away. So they've lost a bit of control over Diagon Alley, and Draco's dead. And then the last villain, thematically, actually, is quite well done in the sense of I have to draw some cards. But the next villain is going to be very fitting as he is the last villain. Quirinus Quirrell. I like the way I stammered when trying to say that, and he stammers. I don't have a stammer. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, active hero. So this is quite horrible because you lose a health every turn. You don't, not depending on any effects. It just happens. So here's our last villain to beat this time.
In the danger!
Just thought you should know, or whatever he says, something like that. Good old Quirinus Quirrell. I thought he was quite a good character, and it was a shame in a way that he was only in the first one. But anyway, obviously, I mean, he could only be in the first one. Really. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. We have got cards all over the floor. Apparently, I've just dropped one. There we go. Okay, so our cards. What have we got? Oh, we didn't do one of these, did we? Let's do one of these. Oh, active hero loses 2 health, but again, that must be the last of the expels. Well, of course it is, because it's the last card in the deck. Of course it's the last one. So we have got, just trying to see, you can just about see that, can't you? Yeah, because my camera's kind of on a mount thing above the table. 2 Alohamoras gives us 2 influence. Crookshanks, we're going to use that to actually gain damage. We're going to set the cat on Quirinus. And then we've got Incendio, which lets you draw a card and take another one of them. Oh, another Alohomora, which is not really much use, and then Wingardium Leviosa, which is we gain one of them. So we've got 4 of them. I forgot to put another card out. So we've got 4 of those, and if we buy a spell, we can put it on top of the deck instead. What can we get for 4? Let's have a little think. Just to say we've got an ally, we'll take Oliver Wood, and then put a new card out. So we don't get to put it on top of our deck, and then we put 2 on Quirrellus. Actually, I should have probably lost a health. I forgot to do a health when Quirrellus come out. So that's our health. That's our health loss from last time. So let's grab some new cards. Shuffle these, because unfortunately you do still have to draw them even when they run out. You don't just get to skip that phase. Unfortunately, they still haven't even taken over Diagon Alley yet, though. So, and we're down to the last villain. Things were looking a bit hairy for one moment, but not too bad at the moment. Okay, just some very speedy shuffling, and our first card is Flipendo. We lose health. No, yeah, he's Flipendo. Lose health, and discards a card. Okay, well, we'll bin off an Alohomora, I think. Okay, so Essence of Dittany gives us 2 health back. Alohomora gives us 1 of those, which we're probably not going to be able to do anything with. Incendio, take 1 of them and draw a card. Tails of Beetle the Bard, so we get 2 more. And then Quidditch Gear, we gain a life and do another point of damage. So 2 damage on Quirinus. Later on in the game, by the way, you have to fight more than 1 villain at once, and some locations will make you draw 2 or even 3 of these cards at once. So that's one of the ways the game gets much more difficult. But when you're fighting, as I say, 3 at once, it's really difficult. It's really, because they've all got bad effects that all happen at once. I can't remember if I did that. Did I do that? Maybe not. I can't remember. We'll knock it down in case I didn't. And what we're going to buy. The best bit of the game, buying stuff. Well, the only thing we can buy is Reparo, isn't it? Here we go. So, let's take another 5 cards. We could, I reckon, thinking about what we've already cycled to and what we've got probably coming up, we could probably, yeah, I think we're going to kill. I think we're going to win. I think we're going to win at this point. I think Quirinus is dead. Or Quirinus is dead. Our card, okay, add 1 to the location. See, if we hadn't got rid of that other one, they would have now taken over Diagon Alley, so it was getting close. So Rubius is going to give us some health, one of his weird potions probably, and point his umbrella at Quirinus. Alohomora, which is a bit pointless really. Time Turner, again, a bit pointless at this stage. Descendo, 2 damage, and Incendio, 1 damage and draw a card, and our last card is Alohomora. Can we buy anything for 3? Yes, we could buy Reparo. Again, it doesn't really do much. I'll show you Reparo. I quite like the way it's got the 1 movements on, so it kind of shows you what they, how you would cast that. And then we're going to put 2 points onto Quirinus, and that's the last one defeated. Oh, I forgot to put a card out. Oh, next card would have been Quidditch Gear. Obviously, this also fills up a lot more. So as the game goes on, and you get into like game 4, 5, 6, etc., you're adding more cards to this each time. So the whole game expands in like every way as you go through it, and there's a lot more going on. But there we go. That's Steve done because he's defeated, and our reward is we gain an influence and a health. There we go, and we have saved the day. We've saved Diagon Alley didn't get taken. The one after that was the Mirror of Erised, which is that one. And again 4, and then only one location, but only one Dark Arts card per turn. But again, some of the later locations, it's 2, or I think some of them even are 3, which is quite scary. So there we go. That was a pretty convincing and a pretty definite win. But there we go. So what I will probably do, because that was quite short, is I will have a go at the next one, Chamber of Secrets one. I'll stick with Hermione for the moment, and then we'll see how we get on. But I really like this game. I say it's a nice gateway deck builder game. It's not too complicated. It's fast paced. It's built. It starts off really easy, and it kind of adds a bit each time, so you can kind of keep up with it. When you've got all the expansions thrown in as well, it gets a bit more complicated. You can like make potions, and there's different monsters and beasts that you can try and get involved in to help you and to help. Anyway, it gets a bit complicated as it goes on, but it's still a really good game, and I like the fact they've got all these photos and things from the film, which is good. So I'd strongly recommend giving it a go if you like fairly straightforward cooperative games and you like Harry Potter. I think this is a good buy. Certainly a good choice. But anyway, let me know what you think, and let me know if you've played this and what you think of it. And so I'll be back with some more soon. So thank you very much for watching this. Take care of yourselves, and I shall see you again very soon.